Title: The Shocking Truth About Muscle Loss and the One Vitamin That Could Save You. By the time Lucas, a 71-year-old retired firefighter from Colorado, realized something was wrong, it was nearly too late. Without warning, he had lost nearly 40% of his muscle mass. Not from an accident, but from something far more insidious: silent muscle wasting, also known as sarcopenia. Every day, millions of seniors just like Lucas unknowingly edge closer to losing their independence, facing a shocking 320% increase in the risk of mobility issues, wheelchairs, and nursing homes. Even worse, most doctors miss the real cause, the overlooked culprit: vitamin D deficiency, a condition silently affecting more than 78% of older adults. This one simple vitamin, backed by groundbreaking research from the National Institute on Aging, can not only halt muscle loss but even help reverse it in just weeks. Imagine climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or simply standing tall again, without pain, fear, or fatigue. It's not just a dream, it's a decision, and it starts with discovering the power of vitamin D. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could redefine how you age. Forever. Losing muscle after 60? Type 1 to discover the one vitamin that fights it fast. Strong. Lucas had always been a fighter. After decades rushing into burning buildings, he believed he could conquer anything. But nothing prepared him for the slow, invisible battle happening inside his own body. It started subtly. He found himself needing to grip the stair railing tighter, struggling to lift grocery bags, and feeling exhausted just getting out of a chair. At first, he chalked it up to just getting older, something everyone told him to expect. But deep down, Lucas knew something wasn't right. A fateful visit to his daughter, Sophia's home, changed everything. Watching his young grandchildren run and play while he sat stiffly on the couch lit a fire in him. He realized he was slipping away, not just physically, but emotionally. The man who once prided himself on strength now feared losing the ability to care for himself, to protect his family, even to live independently. Determined to find answers, Lucas scheduled a comprehensive health screening. What the doctors found shocked him. His vitamin D levels were dangerously low. More alarmingly, no one had ever tested him for this before, despite his increasing weakness. It turned out that vitamin D deficiency wasn't just a minor inconvenience. It was silently stripping away his muscles, his balance, and his freedom. According to research he later discovered from Johns Hopkins and the National Institute on Aging, adults with low vitamin D face dramatically higher rates of falls, fractures, and permanent mobility loss. For Lucas, it was a revelation and a wake-up call. He wasn't powerless. He could fight back. Guided by a specialist, Lucas immediately began supplementing with high-quality vitamin D, 3 at 2,000 IU daily, paired with light strength exercises. He also made simple changes: more time outdoors, more salmon, and fortified foods on his plate. Within just a few weeks, Lucas felt the difference. The stairs didn't intimidate him anymore. The grocery bags felt lighter. His energy, balance, and confidence soared back. A powerful reminder that aging didn't have to mean surrender. Lucas's story is more than inspiring. It's proof that with the right knowledge and action, you can turn the clock back and reclaim your strength. And it all started with one overlooked vitamin. Just as Lucas began to feel like he was regaining his old self, Life threw him a devastating curveball. One chilly morning, as he was stepping off the curb outside a coffee shop, Lucas lost his balance. In a flash, he stumbled forward, narrowly avoiding a dangerous fall onto the busy street. Heart pounding, hands trembling, he realized how close he had come to serious injury. Or worse. Shaken to his core, Lucas sat back in his car for nearly an hour, thinking. Despite his progress, his body was still fragile, and this near miss exposed a hard truth. Recovering lost muscle wasn't just about supplements or hope. It demanded relentless daily action. At home that night, Lucas stared at himself in the mirror, grappling with a flood of emotions: fear, anger, and a stubborn determination. He thought about his father, who had ended his final years confined to a wheelchair after a bad fall. Lucas refused to follow the same path. Driven by the scare, he dove deeper into research and discovered something surprising. Vitamin D was just one piece of the puzzle. Seniors battling muscle loss needed a synergistic combination of critical nutrients, including CoQ10, magnesium, vitamin C, and vitamin B12, working together to rebuild strength and coordination. His initial plan wasn't enough. Lucas needed to fight smarter. He revamped his routine, adding CoQ10 for mitochondrial energy, magnesium for muscle relaxation, and vitamin C to protect against oxidative damage. He learned that without these supporting nutrients, vitamin D couldn't do its job fully, like trying to build a house with missing tools. The change was staggering. Within 8 weeks, Lucas's balance improved dramatically. He moved with a newfound agility. His stamina during walks doubled. He no longer feared the simple things: stepping off curbs, carrying groceries, climbing stairs. More than the physical strength, Lucas reclaimed something even more vital: his sense of control. The incident that had once terrified him became his ultimate motivator. Lucas now knew aging wasn't the enemy. Complacency was. And with the right nutrients fueling his body, he wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. Before his scare at the coffee shop, Lucas had believed that growing older meant learning to accept weakness, pain, and dependency as inevitable facts of life. It was just what everyone told him: friends, family, even his own doctors. "You're not 30 anymore," they would say with a sad smile. But now, standing taller, moving freer, Lucas saw the world and aging through a completely different lens. Aging wasn't about loss, it was about adaptation, about learning what your body truly needed and refusing to let fear define your future. Lucas realized that most people didn't suffer because they were old. They suffered because they lacked the right information and support. Vitamin D deficiency, poor muscle nutrition, and untreated weaknesses weren't signs of aging. They were signs of neglect. And neglect could be changed. He became almost evangelical about his discovery. Every Sunday when he met up with his old firefighter buddies, he couldn't help but share his story. At first, they chuckled, teasing him about his vitamin sermons. But when they saw how Lucas moved, how strong and energized he had become, they leaned in, curious. Lucas started hosting small health talks at the local community center, passionately explaining how critical vitamin D, CoQ10, magnesium, and other nutrients were for preserving independence. Seniors who had resigned themselves to walkers and wheelchairs began feeling hope ignite inside them. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe they too could reclaim their strength. Lucas understood now that aging wasn't a death sentence for your body, unless you gave up. Knowledge, commitment, and action could change everything. He no longer saw himself as a victim of time. He saw himself as a fighter, a builder, a protector, just as he had always been. His body was different now, sure, but it wasn't broken. It was resilient, adaptable, alive. And he made it his mission to make sure others realized it too. For Lucas, the true battle wasn't against aging. It was against the myths and misinformation that stole people's hope. Now, he had a new kind of fire burning inside him, and it was stronger than ever. Lucas's transformation didn't go unnoticed for long. One afternoon, after finishing a volunteer session at the community center, a woman named Evelyn, a vibrant 68-year-old who struggled with arthritis and muscle weakness, approached him shyly. "Lucas," she said, "how did you do it? How did you get your strength back?" In that moment, Lucas realized something powerful. This wasn't just about his own journey anymore. It was about creating a movement, helping others unlock the same strength hidden within them. Together with Sophia, his daughter who worked in public health, Lucas launched a small grassroots initiative called Strong Again, a free support group aimed at empowering seniors to rebuild their bodies through targeted nutrition, simple strength exercises, and daily positivity. They started small, just 5 members meeting once a week at the rec center. But word spread like wildfire. Within 2 months, the group had grown to nearly 50 participants. Seniors who once shuffled into meetings with canes now walked in with confident strides. Smiles replaced resignation. Energy filled the air. Lucas introduced everyone to the simple but powerful tools that had saved him. Daily vitamin D, 3 supplementation, CoQ10 for energy, magnesium for muscle relaxation, vitamin C for tissue repair, and B12 for nerve strength. Along with gentle strength training and sunlight walks, the changes were nothing short of miraculous. Each success story fueled another. Eleanor, a 74-year-old who once feared falling in her own kitchen, could now carry 2 bags of groceries up her porch steps. Finn, a 76-year-old widower, regained enough mobility to take his grandson fishing again. It wasn't just about muscles anymore. It was about restoring confidence, joy, and purpose. Lucas beamed with pride each time a new member reported a victory, no matter how small. A heavier grocery bag lifted. A staircase conquered. A dance enjoyed at a granddaughter's wedding. The group was living proof. Growing older didn't mean growing weaker. Not if you were armed with the right knowledge, nutrients, and mindset. What began as a personal struggle had blossomed into a mission. Lucas had found a new calling, a new way to serve, and a new family of warriors ready to fight for their strength and their lives. 6 months after his near fall, Lucas had become almost unrecognizable, not in appearance, but in spirit. The once cautious man, shadowed by fear and weakness, had been replaced by someone brimming with vitality, confidence, and fierce determination. He no longer moved like a man burdened by age. Every step he took now was deliberate, steady, and strong. But the greatest change wasn't just physical. It was internal. Lucas had developed a resilience that transcended muscle fibers and joint flexibility. He learned how powerful the mind could be in shaping the body. Each morning, as he completed his daily stretches under the rising sun, Lucas repeated a simple mantra: "Stronger today than yesterday." This mindset became his anchor. Challenges no longer felt insurmountable. If a bad day came, a flare of soreness, a tough workout, he saw it as a temporary storm, not a permanent setback. Lucas also realized the beauty of consistency over intensity. He no longer chased overnight miracles. Instead, he embraced small, steady victories. An extra 5 minutes walking without fatigue, lifting a slightly heavier weight, standing up from a chair faster. Every minor improvement fueled his momentum. He became a mentor to others, not with lectures or medical jargon, but with compassion and relatability. When newcomers arrived at the Strong Again group, hesitant and doubtful, Lucas met them with understanding. Because he had once stood exactly where they were. He taught them that building strength wasn't about ego, it was about reclaiming the life moments that truly mattered. Hugging a grandchild without wincing in pain, exploring a park trail without fear of falling, dancing to an old favorite song without gasping for breath. Lucas's story wasn't just inspiring, it was transformational. People began to see him not as an old firefighter, but as living proof that it was never too late to rewrite your story. Through nutrition, mindset, and unwavering persistence, Lucas didn't just rebuild muscle. He rebuilt hope for himself, for his community, and for every senior who thought their best days were behind them. And every single day, as the sun rose and Lucas whispered his mantra once more, he stood a little taller, not because he had defied age, but because he had embraced life fully, bravely, and with unstoppable strength. Lucas often reflected on how close he had come to surrendering, to accepting a slow decline into weakness, dependence, and invisibility. But now, standing under the wide Colorado sky, feeling the solid strength in his legs and the confident rhythm of his heart, he knew one truth more vividly than ever. Aging is inevitable, but decline is optional. He realized that every scar, every ache, every challenge he had faced had shaped him into a warrior, not a victim. And true strength wasn't just measured by the weight you could lift or the stairs you could climb. It was measured by the battles you chose to fight when the world expected you to quit. Lucas's journey wasn't about defying time. It was about owning it, grabbing each day with both hands and refusing to let fear write the final chapters of his story. Through the power of one overlooked vitamin, vitamin D, and the chain reaction it started in his life, Lucas rewrote not only his destiny, but the destinies of dozens of others who had once believed they were too old, too broken, too late. He showed them, and himself, that it's never too late to heal, to grow, to become stronger than you ever thought possible. In the twilight of life, when many retreat into smallness, Lucas chose expansion. He chose passion. He chose purpose. And in doing so, he discovered that the human spirit, fueled by knowledge, commitment, and a spark of hope, is the most powerful force on earth. His message to everyone who felt trapped by their age, their circumstances, their fading strength was simple and searing. You are not finished. You are just getting started. And every time he smiled, every time he lifted a grandchild high into the air, every time he inspired another senior to believe again, Lucas proved it. The fight for strength, for freedom, for life. It wasn't behind him. It was right now. And it was glorious. Lucas's journey teaches a timeless truth. You are never too old to take control of your health, your strength, and your future. Aging doesn't have to mean giving up on the activities you love or settling for a life of decline. Most of the limitations we fear aren't caused by time itself. They're caused by unaddressed nutritional gaps, inactivity, and the mistaken belief that nothing can change. One simple step, discovering the power of vitamin D, became the catalyst for Lucas's total transformation. It wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it was the power of informed action. Lucas didn't wait for someone else to rescue him. He sought answers, made changes, and committed daily to small, consistent victories. The lesson is clear. Strength isn't reserved for the young. It belongs to those who refuse to quit. No matter your age, with the right knowledge, persistence, and heart, you can rebuild not just your body, but your life. If you're ready to reclaim your strength like Lucas, here's where to start. Check your vitamin D levels. Ask your doctor for a simple blood test. Supplement wisely. Consider taking 1,000 to 2,000 international units of high-quality vitamin D3 daily, or as your healthcare provider recommends. Fuel your body. Add more nutrient-rich foods like fatty fish, fortified dairy, leafy greens, and citrus fruits to your meals. Move daily. Gentle strength exercises and regular walks help muscles stay active and strong. Stay consistent. Small efforts every day create huge changes over time. And most importantly, believe in your ability to change. Because, like Lucas discovered, the strongest muscle you can ever build is hope. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and share with your friends. Your support keeps these stories alive. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if today's story touched your heart, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, stay well, and see you in the next story.